Hello and welcome to the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Colby Campbell, and today I've got a special episode for you. I dug through the archives of Channel 15 to find the best of the best arts and entertainment from 2015. This is part 2 of a 2-part episode containing favorites from this year. Don't go anywhere. The Arts Overlook starts right now. Hi there. Welcome to this special short episode of the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Colby Campbell, and this episode is all about Theater UNI's newest production, the iconic musical Rent. I spent some time with the cast and crew to find out what you need to know before it's curtain time. Rent is undoubtedly one of the most widely recognized musicals in the history of Broadway. Known for its brilliant musical score, compelling plot, and contentious elements, it's not a show that you would normally see in a high school or a community theater. However, especially since its movie adaptation in 2005, it has become wildly popular. There are no spoilers in this episode, but if you'd like to have a basic understanding of the show before you go in, then stick around.
Rent is narrated by this guy Mark, and he and Roger can't pay the rent.
Well, we've discussed as a group that this is Friends, the 1990s TV show with AIDS.
And then Roger meets up with this chick Mimi, who's a total heroin addict. She's a mess.
And I mean, it's based on the Puccini opera La Boheme.
It has a lot of themes, right? AIDS, homelessness, drug addiction. That are very contemporary, but the plot, the actual story, is boy meets girl, and then the evil landlord wants the rent. So it's kind of like Dudley Do-Right cartoon. You know, you have the evil landlord, and the Mountie is going to save the girl from being a drug addict, and before the villain can tie her to the railroad tracks. I mean, it's a very 19th century melodrama.
And so Mark goes and helps Maureen out even though they broke up, and Joanne ends up being there, and Mark and Joanne are like, oh, Maureen, we love her, but she's a real terrible person.
We have a filmmaker who keeps delaying making his movie. We have a songwriter who can't write a song. We have a performance artist. We have a philosophy professor who can't keep a job. And this sense of how are these people overcoming these failures, these obstacles that they met in their life.
So you do have the core story is these friends who want to live on their artist lifestyle, you know, on this bohemian lifestyle when you're in the 90s, and you really can't do that. I mean, you have to pay rent, you have to pay bills, you have to, you know, afford food and stuff, and it's them saying, no, but I still want to do what fulfills me.
And then we all go have a party. We're like, bohemian, artsy lifestyle. We love it, even though it's killing us. And then what happens in the second act?
The plot is ripped right out of La Boheme, the opera. And what Jonathan Larson does is takes it, moves it to New York, takes it out of Paris, puts it into New York, takes tuberculosis, turns it into AIDS.
It's basically just how all of these characters, their plots, their life plots intertwine, and how they kind of realize how they each, what roles they play in each other's lives.
My character at one point says in the show, friendship is thicker than blood. That friendship is thicker than anything that these characters have had to encounter.
Maureen is a hoot and a half. She is a performance artist in New York who's not really good at performance art, but it is her passion and she loves it more than anything else.
Finding Mimi as a person is sort of a challenge because at the beginning she's just so deep and just has so much to her that it was sort of at the beginning I was just kind of skimming the surface. And now that I've begun to work with her for a few months, I'm really starting to get into who she is and how she acts and what she sounds like and her struggles. And I think it's been really hard, but it's starting to pay off big time. It's a beautiful production in content, and it's going to be visually beautiful as well.
We go from this loft feel, this desaturated world, into these vibrant moments when we're in the songs, and find that balance between when do you go into those type of looks that are hard hitting like Rent, and there's other times where you got Mimi and Roger and it's a very quiet moment between them, and you got to keep it very subtle, and finding when emotionally are you going to change the lighting to match the actor's emotion, or when do you let them do the work completely by themselves. I love telling stories. I can't act. I fully know I can't act. I connect heavily with music. I played trombone in marching band, I played trombone in symphonic band and in jazz bands back in high school years and whatnot. So I connect really heavily to that, and so that's why I do operas and musicals, is I can bring that emotion that's in the music directly to the lighting. I can take a moment where you have someone, a lover's crying about her other lover that just died, and just by a subtle shift of lighting, the audience will cry. Things like that. That's why I do it. It's that storytelling aspect.
Oh, I definitely think it's important for the community to come out and see Rent.
There are over 100 people involved in what's going on stage. And for a community to support that many people doing what they love to do, and I think taking away a really powerful message, which is, love your friends, love your family, love everybody, because there's no day but today. That's the mantra that we say over and over, that there really is no day but today, is so powerful, and I think anybody would benefit from that message.
People who come to see the show will be able to see how close we've all gotten as a cast and how much we all mean to each other. So that's definitely something that the show reflects a lot.
Mark is everybody's best friend. He's the guy that's always there. In terms of the show, he's the narrator. He's the observer, so he's always got his camera. He's always filming every moment, really trying to capture his friends' lives, and then I think, in turn, is able to retell the story. It's the joke that Mark's always alone, but it's true. I mean, because he's not in that relationship, he has that outside observer standpoint that no one else really gets in the show, and in turn gets to pass that along to the audience. So I have these really cool moments where I get to break that fourth wall and just recap, here's where we are now. The camera represents it's the journey. In the end, you're able to record and then show off this journey that the whole entire group went on. It's the one thing that sees it all. And it truly his goal, he states it in the opening scene, Mark's goal is to shoot an entire film without a script. And so the script he's given is the year that his friends live. And so to be able to shoot that year, and then at the end of the show, in the finale, to be able to turn on this documentary, which is just clips and a reel of this entire year his friends went through a relationship starting. You've got this sickness that's going through. You've got happy moments. You've got sad moments. You've got devastating moments, and then you've got these moments where he's all alone. And so that film, that camera, truly represents being able to capture every single moment that happens in the show. And then it is the ability to be able to retell it, to retell that story. So I often like to think, and this is my own little spin on it, is that every time you view the show, it's actually just the film. It's Mark's retelling of the story. It did happen in the 90s, but now you're viewing it in 2015, and it's through Mark's lens. Not to mention, it's going to be a fun, energetic, exciting, emotional roller coaster of a night that you're only going to get to see in this area, once.
Rent will run at Theater U&I from October 29th through November 8th. All shows are close to selling out, so if you don't have tickets yet, be sure to call 319-273-4849 or visit www.unitix.com. Thanks for watching this special Rent preview on the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Colby Campbell. We'll see you next time. Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Colby Campbell, and in every episode we examine the best and latest arts and entertainment in the Cedar Valley. On this edition of the Arts Overlook, I'll tell you what I learned about the art of giving back and giving thanks, and we'll get an exclusive preview of Lamppost's original Christmas production, Befana. Don't go anywhere. The Arts Overlook starts right now.
Art is thriving in the Cedar Valley. It's everywhere. But if you don't know where to look, you could miss it. This is your local arts perspective. This is the Arts Overlook.
For years, St. Stephen the Witness Catholic Student Center has been feeding families in need at a very special time of year. This week, I stopped in to get an inside look at the art of giving back. Every year, on the Monday of Thanksgiving week, student and community volunteers come together to serve our community. This year, the organization provided 231 Thanksgiving meals, feeding an estimated 650 people.
We are assembling food baskets for the less fortunate. Some of them are refugees, others are just elderly people who can't get out. And we are assembling a Thanksgiving dinner for them, for people who might not have a turkey or anything like that without us.
So in each food basket they get a turkey, they get a roasting pan to put the turkey in. We get 2 cans of green beans, 2 cans of cream of mushroom, 2 cans of cranberry, 2 cans of corn. They get stuffing or rice depending on which they prefer. Gravy, butter, buns, they get a pie. It is a whole Thanksgiving meal, yeah. And then we also give directions, like we put pieces of paper in there, like how to make the turkey, how to make like a green bean casserole.
The project was headed up by Student Peer Minister for Social Justice, Jessica Sandy, a junior special education major at UNI who has a passion for serving others.
We started planning the middle of September. By the end of September is when we like to have the letter sent out. And what we do is we kind of contact the bigger organizations. It could be Queen of Peace Church or Jesse Cosby, whatever it may be, and they send us names of people who may be interested in a food basket. And so then what we do is we organize these food baskets, and then today, the Monday before Thanksgiving, we go out and deliver all the food baskets.
Among other churches, this year nearly 70 baskets were delivered to Sacred Heart Parish in Waterloo, many of which were shared with Waterloo's Burmese community. After volunteers unloaded the meals, community members stopped in at their convenience to receive the basket and full instructions for the best use of the ingredients.
69, we have 59 that they requested, and we have 10 more that you can give to the big families. Oh! So if you know there's 7 or 8 in the family.
Yes, oh, thank you. Oh my goodness.
So they requested 59, but we usually give.
Voila! Open after we get it. Let's put him here, Joe.
I don't think. Oh, I'll pull that out. Here, let's see.
Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you. Yes, please. 6, 8, 9, right here. 9. Yep.
Yeah, I am very excited to see people's reactions. It allows me to pay it forward for people that have helped me in the past, and it's just a way to kind of give thanks and let people know that there are a bunch of young people that still care.
A lot of times when we deliver the baskets, the families will just be crying or weeping just because they're so thankful for the food. And I think that is the most amazing feeling. I don't know, when you drop it off and you can just tell they're so excited, so thankful, and knowing that you did that, like you had a part in making them that happy.
It was truly magical to witness the appreciation of those families firsthand. If you're interested in volunteering to help with this or other similar programs at St. Stephen's, simply contact the church via their website at www.ststephenuni.org. Don't go anywhere. Next up, we'll take a look at the Lamppost Theater's upcoming Christmas production. For the past 35 years, the Lamppost Theater in Cedar Falls has provided a unique Christmas show in an intimate setting. But this year, they've really outdone themselves. The little-known story of Befana, a completely original holiday show that ties in themes we're all familiar with, is told through excellent acting, music, and technology to create a show that will engage kids from 1 to 99.
Well, this show is really magical, I would say.
It's kind of a musical fairy tale. It's based on this ancient Italian Christmas legend about La Befana,
who delivers gifts to children in other countries on the other side of the world instead of Santa Claus. But Befana's story is that she had a chance to go with the wise men when they were following the star to find the newborn king, but she told them she couldn't go with them because she had to finish her housework. So she never got out to follow the star with them. And later she had a change of heart and went off journeying to find the child. But ever since then, she's been journeying on, goes from house to house at Christmas time, leaving gifts for the children just in case one of them might be the child she seeks.
It's kind of following her story afterwards. You know, there's the original legend about her and what she's done, and this is kind of the follow-up to that and seeing where her life has gone since then.
But we took that legend and then we kind of spun off of it. This is many centuries later after Befana has been seeking and seeking for years. And as many of us know, as we get on in years, sometimes we get to a point in life where we've been after the same goals for so long and we start to question, is there really anything there to find? What happens when the journey doesn't hold so much adventure anymore? So Befana is kind of down in the dumps about that, but she has a strange encounter with a mysterious boy who's running from some unknown danger, and as she tries to help him out, she has a whole brand new adventure that we follow along in the play. Well, it's easy to be in the dark about the show because it's brand new and we're still creating it. It is our 35th Christmas production over the years. So we're excited about it. We're pulling out all the stops this year. It's, as I said, a brand new musical.
The music in the show is really good. A lot of the story unfolds through these beautiful melodies and harmonies that are created with the entire cast and just some very special music. And it's always neat when music that's never been heard before comes to life, especially through a play where there's a story with it and visuals.
We're using a lot of new techniques for projection and mixing video and motion graphics in with the live performance. We wanted to give this a real kind of a fairy tale storybook feel.
And I'm very, very excited about the projection. There's projection mapping that is so creative, and I haven't seen much on the stage.
And so the technology has really allowed us to do that and do some exciting things with just 3 cardboard tubes and a few white objects become all sorts of settings, probably a dozen settings throughout the play, and transform in kind of magical ways. I think it'll bring a lot of delight to the audience. And I think it'll be fun for people of all ages. The story, of course, the fairy tale aspect is going to appeal to kids. The adventure, it's kind of there's a bit of intrigue and mystery going on, so that's going to appeal to a lot of age groups.
It's just neat to hear a different culture's story and kind of go into that in depth. You know, I think there's a lot of thematic similarities.
The themes are kind of classic for Christmas time, but also the particular role of Befana questioning her long journey in life and what's at the end of the road. I think that brings the appeal into older audiences as well. So definitely the spectacle and the visuals will appeal to kids, and the whole fairy tale type of feel, I think, is popular among all ages at Christmas time.
I think it'll inspire a lot of wonder again in children. I think sometimes we get so used to doing the same things every day. We watch movies or look at our computer screens, and then if you come to a live show, everything is unfolding and coming to life right in front of your eyes with real people that are there. So I think it kind of inspires the wonder of Christmas again in a new way, and thinking, wow, joy is real and fun can be creative.
It's really an opportunity to just delight in something, and you know, ideally take something away from it also, but it really is just a chance to kind of get away from regular life.
We're trying to say, look, this is a world where there's a lot of heavy things right now. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of things in the news and uncertainties in our future, and it's important sometimes to go back to those simple kinds of stories that we embraced as children, but that have messages that can resonate throughout our lives, messages of hope. Hope is a big theme in this play, and I think this is a time right now where people need that message of hope and need a bit of sparkle in their lives.
If the Christmas season becomes a drag because, oh, we gotta go buy our Christmas presents and make plans and cook and stuff like that, it's a way to remember why we're celebrating.
This show can highlight some aspects of the holiday season that can be kind of a refresher and like a breath of fresh air, I guess.
So not only a break from all that, but from the rest of the world, but I also think this is an opportunity to see original theater. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to fly on Broadway or anything like that, but this is something that nobody has seen before. Nobody else will be doing.
It's something unique that you won't get to experience otherwise.
I think local art is a really important thing. I know I've always found it really neat just that Lamppost is doing original theater. Yeah, I think it's a very unique thing to come and witness, something that was written and produced like right here in-house.
This is a chance for people in the Cedar Valley to say, hey, this is something that's entirely homegrown, and let's get behind and support it.
Befana will run at the Lamppost Theater from December 4th through December 20th. You can reserve your tickets by visiting their website at www.lamppost.com. That's all for this episode of the Arts Overlook. Thanks for watching. I'm Colby Campbell, and we'll see you next time. That'll do it for our Arts Overlook Year in Review. Thanks for being with us all year. We've got some big things planned for 2016, and we can't wait to take you along with us. I'm your host, Colby Campbell. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.